Hi everyone. So today we're going to be talking about testing your Python code. First of all, what is it? It is a way to ensure that all lines of your code have been correctly executed, and it informs you if your code contains any bugs. It is important because it helps you define more precisely your code's intent, allows you to identify issues before users even encounter them, ensures that code changes don't break your program's existing behavior, and allows you to have a more decoupled architecture. Based on Google, decoupled architecture is a type of computing architecture that enables computing components or layers to execute independently while still interfacing with each other. Testing a function. So the function in the screenshot on the very top, called getFormattedName, combines the first and last names that are inputted by a user. The second and third screenshots on the bottom ones allow users to enter a first and last name in order to view a more well-formatted full name. The code succeeds in returning neatly formatted names. But if we ever want to modify the code so that it can handle middle names, for example, we can use code testing. Some testing options would be run names.py, and then enter a name like Bob Dylan or Janis Joplin every time we modify getFormattedName. But that's very tedious. So a more efficient and reliable way of testing will be to automate testing of getFormattedName, the function. What is a unit test? A unit test verifies that one specific aspect of a function's behavior is correct. But a test case is a collection of unit tests that together prove that a function behaves as intended. A good test case considers all the possible kinds of input a function could receive and includes tests to represent every single situation. A passing test, a successful test. So in order to write a test case, you first have to import the unit test module and the function that you want to test. Then you make a class that inherits from unit test.testCase. Then create multiple methods to test various different parts of the function's behavior. As shown below, this is a test case that verifies that the function getFormattedName works correctly. So we're going to talk about a failing test now. In this case, getFormattedName is now updated to include middle names, as shown in the image above. Even though getFormattedNames now does successfully work for those users who actually have middle names, it fails for those who do not have a middle name. The image on the top right represents the failure of the code. So number one, the single E that's shown on top tells us that one unit test in the test case resulted in an error. The second part of the error, we can tell that test first last name in names test case caused an error based on the shown error after the E. Then at number 3, we can see a standard traceback, which demonstrates that the function call doesn't work because it's missing a required positional argument. In this case, it's missing a middle name. At number 4, we can see that one unit test was run. And at 5, it is clear that the test failed, and errors -1 shows us that there was one error when the test case was run. So how can we respond to a failed test? So we shouldn't change the test itself, but we should alter the code in order for the test to be successful. In this case, we can make including a middle name an option and not a requirement by the user. And so the above code modifies the function call by making it so that if the user input includes a middle name, then full name will just return a full name with a first, middle, and last name. But if the user input does not include a middle name, then full_name will only return just the first and last name. So in this case, the modification that we had earlier by adding a middle name is not required anymore. The function should work for people who only have a first and last name and those who have a first, middle, and last name. Responding to a failed test. The screenshot below represents a test case that passes. That implies that the function now works successfully for those with or without middle names. So this is a YouTube video about unit tests in general in Python. If you need to understand more about unit tests and how to implement them, you should probably watch it. It's only around 9 to 10 minutes. This is a link to a web page that walks through unit tests and overall code testing from very basic knowledge to a lot more advanced information, and it utilizes code in order for you to, like, encoding exercises in order for you to understand the overall process better. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and understood more about code testing in Python.